Hello, welcome to the YouTube channel N-Dowd Empire. My name is Capri, and this is going to be our Dive Deeper series where we're going to dive deep into different videos that I love to watch literally every day. I like to hear different philosophies and inputs about a different way of looking at things. And the topic I wanted to cover today is struggle love, especially with everything that's going on with Cardi B and Offset in that situation. First off, let me just say we have all been in that situation. So a lot of people sit back and judge, and you're literally going through that situation right now or have been through it. So I feel like there needs to be a little bit more understanding and grace. We all know where that's heading, yes. But you know, unfortunately, it takes some people longer to understand, and we really need to get out of this mindset, especially in my community, the Black community, that you need to struggle through love and relationships need to be hard. And because you went through a whole lot of stuff with somebody, you have to stay together. That's incorrect. So we are going to listen to this topic from Abraham Hicks. This guy, he's in a situation where he was in a long-term relationship with someone that he got out of, and now he's starting to miss her, regret it, but the situation was bad. In the beginning, he was saying how he keeps having all these negative thoughts, and he tells him, well, that's the first problem, is when you focus on negativity, then of course you're going to be depressed and feel like you need to be with that person, and you're feeling sad without that person because you're not focusing on other shit. Okay? So, let's get into it.
Yes, but I think it hinges on the belief that only one specific person can make you happy, and I have to change that belief.
Well, if you believe that only one specific person can make you happy and that person's gone, then you're in deep doo-doo. And you know why that thought feels so awful? Is because it's a ridiculous, stupid thought. It's because your inner being knows for sure that's not the case. So when you say you're the only one for me and you're not here, and you feel awful, 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 the reason it feels awful is not because the person isn't in your life right now. It's because you're using that person not being in your life as your excuse to pinch yourself off from your inner being who's thinking an entirely different thought about that. When we say the world is awash in money, the world is awash in partners for you.
Pause. Let's sit on that right quick, because this mentality that one true love and soulmate, yes, I believe in soulmates. I also have come into the knowledge that multiple people can be your soulmates. Multiple people come into your life for different reasons, and maybe that person that's relationship shouldn't be hard. This is a takeaway I want you to take from this. Relationships should not be hard. Yes, you're going to go through BS, but just because things start off amazing and they start tanking, I think a lot of times we hold on to what the relation was in the beginning and not totally present to that it's not working out no more, or it's not working out right now. And we still trying to go back to what it was and focusing on what it was, and we really need to be present and realize what it is now. So this whole idea that there's only one person for you, or you get stuck on one person, is going to be to your own detriment. It is okay to have a soulmate, have this person where everything was aligned and all of a sudden it's not working anymore. You can keep it moving, and you will find another soulmate for you that's going to be brought into your vortex. And because you're going to be attracting that person, because you are filling yourself with love for yourself and for other people, so you're going to be drawing these people to you.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere,
They're
honey.
everywhere.
Billions of people in the world. You're going to find another one.
But it's easy. We know. See, this is what happens. You're all going to really like this. Whether you're talking about a relationship or anything else, you're really, really, really going to benefit from this conversation. So, when you don't really know about law of attraction, you're not really clear about the receptive mode, and so you haven't really been deliberately tuning in and receiving the benefit of being tuned in, tapped in, turned on. So you haven't used the leverage of connection to create. So your creation has been hard. You meet someone, it's kind of a struggle. You work the kinks out. It's not easy. It gets better. It gets worse. It gets better. It gets worse. You state your grievances. You come to agreements. It gets a little better and you just grind it out. And a little ways down the road, it's better than it was. Not much, but it's better than it was. And then let's say it goes on for how long?
6 years?
Let's say that it goes on for 6 years where it's good and it's not good and it's good and it's not good, but it's mostly really hard work because you weren't tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You haven't had the advantage of the leverage of the universe. So it was so hard, which means you're so invested in it. So I don't want to start over again. 6 years of hardship. I want that to pay off for me. So can't I just resurrect this relationship and can't we just pick up from the not so horrible place that we ended up? So we have a story to tell you. Isn't that sort of how it goes? I don't want to start over again. This was miserable and it's not quite as miserable now as it has been. So I don't want to give up all the gain that I made. That's not a very good reason to stay in a relationship.
You don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that.
We get it. If you are creating through blood, sweat, and tears, then you've got an investment that you want to capitalize on. But we're telling you there's another investment that you've made, and it's the vortex, and you've got another mountain of goodness that's flowing to you. And so now we have another story for you. So a man was talking to us about his financial empire that had crumbled. And he said, I'm in my 60s and I just can't see starting over again. And so what do I do? And we said to him, you're forgetting about the vibrational currency that you've amassed. You're not starting over. You are vibrationally so much more than you were before. And you're starting now with that vibrational currency that you can't give up. So you've got relationship currency. Because all of those things that didn't go well, you put in the vortex what you wanted. There's a much brighter, better relationship that's all queued up for you as a result of that relationship that was beneficial. And all you got to do is find some way to let go of that long enough that you can get into the receptive mode. And then what you really want will flow into your experience so easily, really. When we say you can't get there from there, what we mean is you can't get to where you want to be by following the same path. And the best thing to do is to just get off the subject altogether for a little while. You want to get ready to be ready. You want to be ready to be ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. And the first phase of being ready, you might not even have a thought of a relationship in your mind at all. Get off the topic because every subject is really two subjects, wanted and absence of what is wanted. So for a while, after something has sort of stung you in this way, thinking about it automatically activates the end of the stick that isn't to your advantage. So you're better off to stay off the subject, find something else that interests you a little bit. And
so let's go back to the fact of blood, sweat, and tears. People wanting to stay in a relationship just because they invested so much time and effort and energy into it. That is the worst excuse, or children, that is the worst excuse for wanting to stay in a relationship. And really what he is saying is all that time, all that energy, all those fights, all that BS that you went through for years, possibly with a lot of people, don't see that as an investment in that person. See that as you have invested, that you have grown this bank of, okay, this is what you know you don't want in your life. And then when you leave that situation and you go to your next situation, you already have this stockpiled of what you know that you don't want to tolerate, what you know that you can't deal with, what you know that you don't want to be a part of your circle anymore. And as you're dating people, now you're quickly able to identify, like, oh, I know, no, that's not going to work. On to the next one. On to the next soulmate. On to the next person that you're connecting with. And ultimately, you are going to end up with a person where you guys are perfectly in line with each other. And the relationship, the love will no longer be a struggle. That's ultimately what we all should want. And yes, a lot of us have been hardwired to think that struggle love is real love. And I'm telling you, it's bullshit. What has been ingrained in us, what we've seen, what we've witnessed in previous generations of all the nonsense that we've seen our mothers go through, or our fathers go through, it ain't got to be like that. It really doesn't have to be like that, y'all. So thank you so much. If there's any topics that you want me to talk about or discuss, make sure to put it in the comments. I also want to hear your guys' opinions about struggle love, or the Cardi B situation, which really, that's their life. That's their issues. We all know how this is going to go. And maybe we don't know, because I know people who started off fuckboys and it grew, it took a woman to be like, yo, I'm gone, for them to do a complete 360. So I hope maybe that will happen in that situation. But as always, love, peace to everyone, and hope you have an amazing day.